Hey there everybody, my name is Ryan, the official host of Reddit Voice, and today I'm going to be bringing you one particularly juicy story from r/MaliciousCompliance. Before I do though, I'd really appreciate it if you could hit that subscribe button and that notification bell to stay up to date on all the latest videos. You have Saturday detention for being late to school all week, and you better be on time next week. Okay, I'll just bring my child. Two-part malicious compliance. This was over 20 years ago, so some of the details and dialogue may be a little fuzzy, as the years have not been kind. This is a two-part malicious compliance, so it is long. Enjoy. On mobile, yada yada yada. Cast: assistant principal, principal, teacher, an old walrus, mama, me, teen dad. Backstory: I was a teen dad when I started high school. As such, Mama told me that I had to be home to take care of my son on the weekends. She did say that during the week that if I could not find a babysitter for him, then she would watch him while I was at school for the cost of extra chores. But I had to try and find a babysitter first, because she was not going to raise any grandchildren. If I can make the baby, then I can raise the baby. So I did the best I could by asking at church on Sunday if one of the ladies would be willing to watch my son during the week while I was at school. But there were some days the sitter I had lined up canceled last minute, leaving me no choice but ask Mama to help me out, causing me to be late to school and costing me more chores. For the first 3 months, I had dealt with ISS, in-school suspension, lunch detention, and the paddle on a number of occasions. And each time I tried to explain, the explanation fell on deaf ears. This time was going to be different. Story: I woke up every morning at 4:30 and did my chores, got ready for school, and got my son ready to go to the sitters. I went to the sitters with my son about 7:30, only to be told that my son could not stay for that day for some reason or another. That went on every day since day one, so I drove all the way back home to ask Mama if she could watch my son for the day. It took 15 minutes one way and 30 minutes round trip. Hey Mama, can you watch son for me? OP, why are you not at school? Did you take him to the sitters? I don't know why his mom has a southern drawl, but she does. Yes ma'am, but she said that she has an appointment in state capital, and could not watch him today. Please Mama, I'm already late. Okay OP, I'll do it, but you're doing dishes tonight. I gave baby to Mama and drove the 20 minutes to school. Every day the sitter had a different excuse, and it wound up costing me some extra chores to pay Mama for watching the baby. First night dishes, second night laundry, third night cooking, supper, fourth night more dishes, fifth night cooking supper. By the time I got to school it was almost 9 and first period was almost over. I got into the office to get my pass to go to class. Monday through Thursday, nothing happened. I got my pass and went to class. I gave the pass to the teacher and accepted the scolding from the teacher. Friday morning, however, when I went into the office to get the pass, principal called me into the office. I walked into the office. Principal, assistant principal, and teacher are already in there waiting for me.
OP, please have a seat.
I do, and he continues.
OP, teacher tells me that you have been late to class all week. You know that all students must be here at or before 8 o'clock. We have had this discussion before, have we not? Now, do you care to explain why you are late every day?
Yes, sir, we had this discussion before, and every time we have, I've told you every time that I have a hard time getting a sitter. Assistant principal: this is no excuse. What does you needing a sitter for your siblings have to do with you being late every day? She sounds a lot like Mama. Yeah, I'm tired of hearing that excuse. Now you be in my class Monday morning on time, or you'll be sorry. Do I make myself clear? Then he walks out before I could answer him. Well, I'm waiting, tapping her foot. You better answer me now, young man. Well, ma'am, I don't need a sitter for my siblings, I need a sitter for my son. Had you not interrupted me, I would have told you that. Assistant principal was mad that I had the nerve to talk to her like that. However, principal spoke up before assistant principal could get her words out.
OP, watch how you speak to assistant principal. Or do you need to have another talk with the paddle? I think since you want to be late all week, then lie about it and speak so rudely to assistant principal. You can have Saturday detention for the next 4 weeks. You will not be late. You will not make excuses, and you will apologize to Assistant Principal for your rude behavior. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, sir, I understand. To Assistant Principal. Assistant Principal, I'm sorry for being rude and disrespectful.
Good. Be here at 7:45 in the morning. 1 minute late and you will have to deal with the truancy officer. Am I clear? Good. Now get out of my office and get to class.
I got up and left. I started to hatch a plan to show them how unreasonable they were being and that I was not lying about having a child. So when I got home, I told Mama what happened and my whole plan. After taking the punishment for getting in trouble at school, she laughed and told me to be careful and not raise the hornet's nest too badly. The Malicious Compliance, Part 1. Since I had to spend all day Saturday and Sunday with my son, well, you can see where this is going. I packed my son's diaper bag with everything he would need for 5 hours, grabbed my bag that I put together the night before, loaded up in the car, and then I had my brother drop us off at the school at 7:30. Detention started at 8. I told my brother the plan on the way, and we had a good laugh all the way there. Since my son and I were 15 minutes early, we sat on the bench outside of the front door of the school. We really didn't have to wait long, 10 minutes. Assistant and principal came walking up carrying their Dunkin' Donuts coffee. They saw my son and I, then principal said,
OP, I said 7:45. What are you doing here early, and why do you have your baby brother here? No children allowed. Take him home and get back here by 8 now.
Sir, you did say I have to be here by 7:45. I didn't want to be late for detention for being late, so I got here at 7:30. He is not my brother, he's my son. I pulled out the unofficial copy of his birth certificate with father's name section highlighted and showed him. See, sir, it says right here, father's name OP. It takes 20 minutes to get home, 5 minutes to drop him off, 60 minutes to explain to Mama why he's not with me, 20 minutes to get back, and on top of that, I would have to wait 30 minutes for my brother to come get me, so I can take him home, so all in all, 2 hours, 15 minutes round trip to comply with your orders. It is 7:40 now, sir. By the time I do all of that, it'll be 9:55. So no, sir, I cannot follow that order, as it would be an hour and 55 minutes late getting back. Sorry, sir. Principal was pissed that I had the nerve to talk back to authority. He stomped off and unlocked the doors to the school. We will be calling Mama to get the child. Don't think you can get away with this sort of behavior. We go in, they call Mama, and told her how rude and disrespectful I was being and that she needed to come get my son. To which Mama told them, relayed to me by Mama after I get home. Really? That sounds like a you problem. It also sounds to me like you're the ones being rude and disrespectful. That is OP's child. It is time to spend with his son. If you don't like that OP brought his son with him, then maybe believe him when he tells you something. Don't bother me again over some bullshit because you get your feelings hurt. Grow a spine and grow up. That was that. They didn't bother me or my son for the rest of the detention time. I brought my son with me for the whole 4 Saturday detentions. After that, I never received another Saturday detention. The Malicious Compliance, Part 2. Teacher had told me the Friday before the first Saturday detention that I had better be on time for his class that next Monday. So, step 2 of my plan activated. I called all my other teachers Sunday and told them what I was going to do for the rest of the term. It was about 8 weeks before Christmas break. They were on board with it, but told me that if my son started to disrupt the class, then they would have to ask me to abandon the malicious compliance. I agreed, and the next morning. Ha 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 ha. I also told the lady at church, who kept leaving me stranded without a sitter, I would no longer be asking or paying for her as a babysitter. She was mad, but I don't care. I did the normal stuff. Woke up at 4:30, did my chores, ate breakfast, got ready for school, got my son ready, with enough things for 10 hours. As I figured I would have ASD, after school detention. Got in the car and instead of going to the sitters, went to school. I was on time, 7:40. I go into the office with my son, who was asleep, and got him a visitor's pass. The receptionist laughed when I told her why I needed a visitor's pass instead of a tardy slip. I took the pass and go to first period. Physical science, the class that I was always late for. I walk in, take my seat, and wait for the first bell. Of course, all the girls and some of the guys in the class are going gaga over my son. Even some of the snobby girls are talking to me. First bell rings, 8 o'clock. Teacher walks in and starts taking attendance. Gets to my name. OP? Well, I guess he doesn't care about my class again. That's it, I'm done with his tardiness, class. I'll be back before he can get out the door. Present, sir. Well, you decided to be on time after all. So what's your excuse this time? Why have you decided today of all days to grace us with you being on time? Well, sir, if you care to remember Friday in principal's office, that you wanted me here on time, no excuses. Then you left before I could acknowledge your order, sir. So, sir, I'm here on time as you ordered with my son. Since you did not believe me when I said I could not find a babysitter, sir. His face turned blood red. He was pissed by my answer. He continued to take attendance, then turned to me and started barking something. All I could make out was office. How dare you call baby in detention? All his yelling woke up my son, who started crying. I stood up, got my things and son, and said, "Sir, look what you went and done. You woke up the baby. I hope you're happy now, sir." Then I went into the hall, but not before hearing all my classmates agreeing with me. After I got my son calmed down, teacher came out in the hall and with a calmer tone. "OP, please explain why you brought your brother with you to my class. I told you that I wanted you on time, not your whole damn family." "Sir, he's not my brother. He's my son. Shows copy of birth certificate. The sitter has not helped me at all. That is the reason I'm always late. By the time I turn around and convince Mama to help me with him, I'm late for your class. But please, sir, if you want to give me detention or any other punishment, that's fine and I will take it. But please, sir, don't shout or cuss. It's not good for you. It's not good for us. And more importantly, it's not good for my son, who will be joining us for the rest of the term." "What?" through gritted teeth. "Office now." So I, my son, and teacher make our way to principal's office. Teacher goes in and tells principal something. Principal comes out, sees me, and sighs.
OP, come in. Leave your child there.
"Yes, sir, I'll come in, but no, sir, I will not leave my son unattended." I go in, pushing my son's stroller.
OP, teacher said that while you were on time that you were being disrespectful and insubordinate. Not to mention that you think it's okay for a child to come to school. What for the rest of the term? You, young man, are about to learn a lesson that children do not belong in school and that you cannot get away with disrespecting authority or rules. Now, what do you have to say for yourself?
"Sir, if children don't belong in school, then why in the hell are we forced to come? I have no other choice but to bring my son with me. I don't have a babysitter, but Mama won't help me out. Remember, she said she would, but only in extreme cases and for me doing more chores. And I've ran out of options. Now, if you're going to punish me for something, then I think it best to wait until my attorney gets here to make sure that the punishment fits the charges and is a fair carry of justice. Or you can proceed and have a lawsuit and lose your position with the Board of Education. Your choice, sir. I know my rights as a citizen of country." Teacher was shocked.
OP, let's not get attorneys involved. Let's go back to where you said you have no choice but to bring him with you. Do you care to expand on that? Why does he not live with his mother and her family?
"Yes, sir, the reason I have no choice but to bring him with me is because the babysitter I hired is useless. Mama's too busy and I can't afford to pay her to watch him. The reason he doesn't live with his mom or family is because she and her family gave up their rights and claim of him. Her family said they don't want a bastard in their family, and she is in state, women's facility for assault and attempted murder. So you see, there's no other choice."
OP, if that is true about the mother, then why did he not in the care of Child Protection Services? Why do you have the custody?
"Because, sir, the same reason why I have an attorney on retainer. If you have any further questions about the matter, you can contact my attorney." Teacher was silent after that. After a really long discussion, I went on about my day. The other teachers were okay with my son being in their class. I contacted my attorney when I got home from school. He contacted the Board of Education and got them to agree that my son could indeed attend classes with me until I either found a babysitter or finished the term due to my situation. I ended up changing schools before we went back after New Year's. I did find a wonderful babysitter who was available when I needed her for a really great rate. Also, I ended up having to retake physical science as I had failed the first school, but I ended up passing the class with an 87. People think it's hard to be an adult, married, and have a child. I only wish I could have complained about that. That's easy compared to my experience in high school. Note, when I say I drove to school, I had my learner's permit. My brother, 20 at the time, was the one who was teaching me how to drive for a fee. I didn't trust my son to just anyone, so I would be late to school despite the fact that I knew the penalty for doing so. There were consequences at home for me getting in trouble at school. My learner's permit was taken when I got Saturday detention. Waking up at 4:30 to do chores before going to school, we lived on a dairy farm. Why go inside to call mama? This was back before anyone had a mobile phone. Paddle? WTF? It was in a school district that paddled students up until graduation with parents' permission. It wasn't uncommon to hear of, but only if the offense called for the paddle. My next go-around with physical science class was after lunch, so I had plenty of time to be there. I found out from a friend that the old school that principal and assistant principal were fired for having personal relations with each other in the principal's office during school hours, which explains a lot. Teacher retired at the end of the school year. Good riddance, you old walrus. Thanks for reading. I know it was a lot, but sorry to bore you with a long story. If you have any questions about anything in the story, please feel free to ask. However, because this is a video, I do not have the answers, I'm just the narrator. Well, there you have it, folks. I know it's a bit of a different format. We just did one long video today rather than a couple of different stories. But I hope you enjoyed it. If you do, leave a like and a comment and check out our playlist because we got plenty of videos from the past that are awesome and plenty more coming real soon. Hope to see you guys in tomorrow's video, but until then, I wish you a great rest of your day. Have a good one.